and 4. The battle is on. It's going to be too close to call side by side. Long Joe gets it. Oh, we got contact. We got flips. Everywhere. We got big wrecks here going back to the front because we're racing back to the line.
William Page with the victory.
Looking for second here.
Musa's gonna
he's going to use that apron.
He's going to use the apron.
They're going to be side by side. Coming off the corner. Boy, back to the inside. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Tom Musa gets it.
Tom Musa, where did he come from?
Boyer trying to close the gap. He's going to get to the bumper. Oh, just barely did not make it. And coming off of turn 4, Jeff Stekenis is going to win it at Dover.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's feature presentation of the HOBO Racing Modified series here at the Iowa Speedway. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Joe Twansky. Alongside me tonight, it's Ricky Collette. Ricky, we're in Iowa. There's cornfields everywhere, but we're going to do a little racing here tonight.
That is right, Joe. It's going to be a fun night here. Iowa, always a fun place to come to. Just 3 big lanes of racing. You can go anywhere on this track and find some grip. These guys are going to be up for a big challenge tonight.
Going to be a huge challenge tonight here in the JTN Studio number 2 in beautiful Ann Arbor, Michigan. Gotta love it. The first race in the new studio, first race with the new digs, so we're going to hope that all goes well here in this one. Ricky, we look at our race preview presented by our beautiful friends at CircuitDiecast.com. Remember to use code JTN at checkout on your order of $20 or more. 125 laps here tonight around this 7/8 mile short track that's kind of a little too big to be a short track, but also still considered a short track.
Yeah, it's a strange track here, Iowa. It's just like you said, it's right on that line of what size it's supposed to be. It's 0.875 miles, so by normal definition, this would be a short track, but as you're going to see, it's going to race a lot like a normal speedway here, especially with these modifieds and all the additional grip that they have.
Yep, and in-game GNS physics with the modifieds too, so not, your typical Cup Series horsepower where I think the last time we were here at Iowa, we were with the USORL Cup Series, if I do recall correctly. So not as heavy of a speed going down into the corner, but you're going to have a lot of grip to be able to maintain that speed through the corner. That's going to be something to watch because this Iowa Speedway, it absolutely tears up the tires.
That is correct. It's definitely, it's deceptive. You got a lot of lines here, and it looks like it's a pretty smooth surface, but then you go out there and you run some laps, and it just absolutely chews up your tires. You're really got to conserve. And a lot about searching for different lines here to run is more about finding out where you can run here without absolutely burning your stuff out too quick.
Don't want to burn your stuff out. You don't want to use up those Hoosiers too much here in this race here at Iowa. Qualifying should be rolling to its completion here momentarily. I want to first shout out all the fine folks in chat. Mackenzie Weston is always here for the HOBO Racing Mods, cheering on Rod Weston, of course. Small European Hockey Markets fan, so I'm going to call you European Hockey. That's your new nickname here. Our good buddy Roger Nebelsack also saying what's happening. There's a lot of things that are new here on JTN this week, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And me, but not the boys, giving me that little boost I need to tell me that the audio sounded great. Sounding good. No, great. He said great.
Great, good. I see great.
I see great. Larry R tuning in. Hello, Larry. Good luck here tonight. But Ricky, 125 laps. That's we did 120 laps last week, right? Around a half-mile speedway. This track, I know it's at, it's only 5 laps more, but that's a lot of extra miles when you add them all up, isn't it?
Yeah, it compounds on itself, especially when you take into account lap times. Last week, I believe, they were running probably close to like 18, 19 seconds around that place. Here, they're running about 22, 23 seconds, so it's small, but it compounds on itself as the race goes on. That being said, they're still going to be flying around here. This race is going to go by pretty quick, only 125 laps. just comparatively, maybe not as brief as last week. But it looks like we got cars out on track here, and happy hour is beginning, which means we have a qualifying lineup for tonight.
Well, that means, of course, Ricky, it's time for you to go through that starting lineup here tonight from Iowa.
All right, with pleasure. Starting on the pole in the number 73, I guess it's a Cadillac. I don't know how you identify that in a modified, but let's say 73 Cadillac of Herman Reese at a time of 22.910 seconds. Starting in second will be the 21 Steve Rubino. Darrell Brown, the 86, will roll off third, with Dan Rubino in the 44 starting in fourth. DJ Hinsky in the 14 will roll off fifth this evening, with Jim Windrow, the 36, starting sixth tonight. Ron Simpson, the 25, will start seventh. Brendan Spadafora, the 37, will roll off eighth. Rod Weston, the 19, will start ninth tonight. And last car in the top 10 will be Wade Driscoll in the 78 car.
Driscoll making his first start here in the HOBO Racing Modifieds.
Yes, he is. And then starting from the 11th position will be Rich Napick in the 6th. 12th spot will go to the 188 of Larry D. And the 12th spot of D will be the last car to take a time in qualifying this evening. For the rest of the field, Duke Sorensen, the 59, will roll off 13th. Pushrod 17 in the 17 will start 14th. 57 car, Keller, will roll off 15th. Rolling off 16th will be the 31 of Jessica Kennis. And capping out the field in 17th position, the 15 of Tyler Stallhood. That'll be our starting lineup for tonight's event. Good sized field, about give or take about what we saw last week. Going to be a much different character, though, like I said, around this place. A lot more lanes, a lot more ability to move around than what we saw last week with that very one-lane racing surface that we were experiencing.
And it's a whole different, ovals, everyone says, oh, you're just turning left, you're just turning left. There's a whole different skill set here at Iowa where you're going to have tire wear that's going to make you have to run different lines throughout the race. So that's going to be something to watch. Another thing to watch, we're going to see if this 21 of Steve Rubino, he can have a rebound night here tonight at Iowa. Wrecked out of the race early last week at Airborne. Going to try to correct that mistake. Nothing of his own doing, of course, last week, but going to try to correct that mistake, try to get a good finish here, starting second on the night. He qualified up front last week, too, trying to build some momentum with this 21 car.
Yeah, that's such a hard thing to start just getting setback after setback. It really starts to put you in a rut. So, honestly, for tonight, I think he's already doing a pretty good job of it. Starting right there in that second position. Got a really good spot to just sort of take his time, survive the race, and walk away with a good finish. Maybe even a win if he's got a fast enough car, because he's within spitting distance of what Herman Reese put down for a lap time. But I think the most important thing for Steve Rubino tonight is just being able to have a consistent evening.
When you talked about Herman Reese, a guy that we know to be good at these high tire wear types of tracks, Ricky, obviously that paid off in qualifying for him. Obviously, you're not going to have a bunch of tire wear in qualifying. You only got to go out there, run one heater. But tonight, him starting up front, that's going to be a big help for him as he kind of started mid-pack last week.
Yeah, definitely will. And that's the thing about tire wear. We talk about all the time how the leader has an advantage because they're in clean air. There's some other things the leader kind of has an advantage of just being in front of empty racetrack. They really can manage their tires because they don't have to deal with racing around other people. They don't have to worry about getting into anyone. They can just set their own pace, set up their own lines, experiment, try some things, see what lets them put down fast lap times, what puts down slow lap times. They have a lot more room to sort of experiment and throw things at the wall to see what sticks. So starting from that front spot tonight, the 73, should already be in a pretty good position here in terms of tire saving because he's already got the best track position in the house for setting that up.
Last week's winner, you see him on your screen right now, Jessica Kennis in that racetrack 31, looking to make it 2 in a row here in the modified series. What is he going to have to do? Because I forget, where is he starting here tonight?
Jessica Kennis is starting from the 17th position, so all the way in the back of the field. Here's what the 31's going to be doing this evening, which he's going to have to work his way up through the field. On the bright side, I don't think it's as daunting of a task as it was last week at Airborne. Mm-hmm. And we even saw last week at Airborne, we said that. We're like, oh, it'll be hard to make it, or it'll be hard to get up through the field. And then we just saw the fast guys, pick them up and put them down and just rise to the occasion. So this week, I think it'll be a little more manageable. There's a lot more wiggle room around Iowa to race around people and sort of navigate slower traffic than there is at Airborne. So I don't think it's as big of a setback, but his big plan tonight is definitely going to be get up front quick and then stay there.
The one place you don't have more room than you did last week is down the back straightaway. We got a wall there this week. You don't have a big grass runoff, so that'll be not something that's... Last week was the exception to the rule, right? To this week, we're back to the normal setup. But happy hour coming to an end here. We'll be going racing momentarily. Again, want to thank you folks for tuning in here tonight on a beautiful Thursday night out here in Newton, Iowa. The HOBO Racing Modified Series. Cars getting gridded right now, and we'll have the command momentarily and get this one underway. Ricky, I'm so excited for this one because Iowa's an action track.
Iowa is definitely an action track. It's got the most unique character of any of the short tracks around. I feel like it's like Richmond on a. It's like a tweaked out Richmond. It's just somehow faster and slower at the exact same time, and has all these varying lanes. It's just wild. It's such a fun track. I love it, and it's gonna be a fun night here.
Fun night indeed. We're going to be right back here on JTN. All right, but Ricky, getting ready to get this one underway here tonight. It's going to be interesting, again, to see how these guys can kind of navigate their way up and through the field that are starting towards the back. We talked about Stakenis. Any other players you're seeing back there that you think can make their way towards the front?
I mean, yeah, I think everyone back here is just as capable of doing it. Just kind of taking a look through. I know it's Duke Sorensen, the 59. He had a great run last week, and going to be starting near the back here, just next to the 17 of Pushrod. I think he's definitely got a chance to make his way up through the field here. Just Stakenis, I think, is going to be the big one to watch, though.
Stakenis definitely going to be one to watch. We're going to keep our eyes on him all throughout the night, but we're going to keep our eyes right now on the front row as we get ready to go green flag racing here from Iowa. Herman Reese, Steve Rubino, row number 1, Daryl Brown, Dan Rubino, row 2, and then the 14 of DJ Hinsky rounding out your top 5 here tonight. Field makes their way into the tri-oval. They see the green flag, and we're underway here from Iowa.
And our leaders coming to turn 1 at dead heat with 73. Herman Reese pulls away and assumes the lead as they come through turn 1 and turn 2. They'll filter down the back straightaway here. 36 Jim Windrow trying to pull ahead of the 14 of Hinsky. He makes it a little further back. Brendan Spadafora trying to make some moves on the high side above the 19. 78 way up the track right behind him. Wade Driscoll got caught up in the marbles there. Looks like he's going to lose a few spots here.
Is that high line going to be usable throughout the night, or do you really think that's kind of your last-ditch effort type of thing to get around a guy maybe late in the race?
Oh, we got the 44 Dan Rubino right around on the apron, and he keeps it down there.
You stay green.
And no caution.
Get you a replay of that one there with Bino. Heard a lot of guys complaining about the car just kind of being very unstable through the center of the corner. I think that's what we see here.
You can see it there. 44 Rubino just sort of started to spin around, tried to recover it, just couldn't save it. Bright side, it seems like no hard contact. He didn't even really lock down those tires, so I think he's fine for right now. It's just going to set him back quite a bit here. Probably half a lap down to these guys already.
They were talking about that unstable condition. Do you think that goes away as we get into a run here, as the tires start to wear? Because a lot of times, you know, especially fixed setup, we talk about the cars get a lot tighter throughout the run. So is that unstable feeling going to go away?
I believe so, yes. This is definitely one of those tracks that when you chew up the tires, it definitely starts to get really tight on exit. And I wouldn't be surprised if these cars are a little loosened up just for the sake of, so that they're not completely unbearable to drive later on.
Dan
Rubino here, though. Herman Reese cannot shake the 21 of Steve Rubino. He is tracking down the 73 car right on his back bumper, looking left, looking right. Will stay back this time by. Rubino's going to have to move fast. He's got the 86 of Daryl Brown and 36 of Windrow right on his back bumper, both in his mirror here, just looking around, trying to see if they can get on by. Here comes Windrow to the inside of the 86. They're going to be side by side in turn 2 here.
An interesting battle down the back straightaway. Windrow gonna get the position. He'll move that black 36 with white numbers and pink trim on into the third position. Steve Rubino is still there in second. He's still trying to find a way around Herman Reese for the lead.
A little tricky thing, Joe. You kind of saw it. Steve Rubino kind of almost went down towards the apron there, turn 3. So these guys got to be careful about that because You really need to hit that paint, and the car turns really well when you hit that paint. But if you go in the slightest bit under that, and those left side tires make contact with that, 0 degrees of banking, the car is just going to shoot up the track. You kind of seeing it right now with the 21 Steve Rubino. Looks like the car's getting a little bit tight. 36 starting to track him down as he's trying to find an alternate line here to sort of set up that pass on Herman Reese.
Yeah, I was gonna say that 36. It looks like he's taking a higher entry into the corners than the two guys in front of him. It's maybe more so down 1 and 2, because of course this time when we go through 3 and 4, he does the complete opposite. But if he's doing something different like that, Ricky, is that just are you trying to psych the guy out in front of you, or are you really just trying to find a way to get around him?
I think he's really just trying to find a way to get around him. You see 73 of Herman Reese wiggle a little bit coming off the turn there. Yeah, that 73 just a little bit free in that clean air. But I do believe right now he is probably just looking for alternate lines, trying to figure out where the 73 is getting speed, if he can find anywhere on the track where he can pick up some speed here. But look at the 36, throws it deep to the inside of the 21. 21 has to take the higher lane to let him in. Jim Windrow in the 36 going to try to hang on, but he can't. Steve Rubino going to maintain his second position here as I come into turn 3, and it will begin to pull away from the 36 for at least a brief moment here.
And if you're Steve, you're now realizing, right, you kind of figured out a way that you're able to hold off that guy behind you. You're able to kind of stave him off for a couple seconds by, taking that bit of a higher line and getting that good run off the corner and kind of keeping that guy to the inside pinned down, right? I think that was the big key there.
Yeah, we got another car, the 6 of Napick, blowing up on the apron here, coming around track. That is very unfortunate for that 6 team. Keep an eye to the pace car here. Looks like no caution. Very unfortunate for Rich Napick. His night will be over here, unfortunately.
They like to keep the race green flag here in Iowa, don't they?
Yeah, I guess they really do. That flag man is a little bit fickle, I guess.
We continue on. Hopefully no random rainstorms down into turns 1 and 2 like at New Hampshire for the Cup Series a few weeks ago. Speaking of New Hampshire, no, we're early on in the broadcast. We don't usually do these this early, but we're going to be at New Hampshire Tuesday night, back with HOBO Racing Modifieds for a special birthday event. Coverage beginning there, 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time from New Hampshire, August the 3rd. August 4th, next night, Watkins Glen with VSR Trucks. VSR Cup Series returns at Watkins Glen, then the 5th and the 6th. Xfinity Series action from Watkins Glen as well. And then the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series, August 12th from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. All those races, of course, live only on JTN, presented by our friends at TWB Technologies. Together, we are better.
Well, for the back here, Joe, 57 Rob Keller makes it by the 188 Larry D for the 11th spot. Those guys are side by side for a few laps. That paddle finally yields to the 57, and that Albertsons machine starting to pull away here. Well, looking back to the front here, Herman Reese has not been able to shake our leaders. I know we were talking about that. You used to have the best position on track here to sort of maintain and have control of this race, but it really seems like Steve Rubino is making that 73 car work this evening. Only 15 laps into the race here, so plenty of time for those tires to wear in and for the handling on both those machines to really take a big swing. But for the moment, Steve Rubino hanging on strong.
I hope someone doesn't take the time to illegally stream our races, let me tell you. It's European hockey. Yeah, I mean, it's about putting that pressure on him, but we don't know. Herman Reese, he could be in the mindset of, okay, I'm just going to drive quick enough to stay ahead of this 21 right now. I'm going to pace myself. I'm going to set the pace for the field. Maybe he's at the limits of what Steve can do behind the wheel with this setup. Again, it's fixed setup here on Thursday nights with the Modified, so you also have that going for you. If you're any of these drivers that maybe you feel like you're at a setup deficiency when it comes to getting these cars ready to race, but Reese now extending it to about 3 car lengths down into turns 1 and 2.
And it seems like that's what Herman Reese is about. The maximum of what he's been able to do so far is just sort of maintain 2 or 3 car lengths. So 21 of Rubino here had a really fast lap last time too that I think helped. But already Herman Reese ran a fastest lap of 23.319, and then last time by ran a 23.89. Ran a 23.79 this time by, but that's still 4 or 5 tenths of a second drop off, not even 20 laps into this event. Gives you an idea where these tires are right now, how much that does start to play into this. Look a little further back, the 57 knocking on the back door of the top 10 here to the inside, the 59 Duke Sorensen, who lost a position to the 31 of Jeff Sekenis as well. So Sorensen going to drop back here to the 11th position, but Jeff Stackenis right now starting to move his way up through this field. Currently in the 9th position, started last, but is running some fast times out there.
Thinking he's probably going to need a caution to catch the leaders, though, right?
You never know. You never know. Maybe a good bit of strategy here and there, just keeping those fast laps up, and he'll be sitting pretty. Thing is, you're kind of noticing it. The leaders aren't really pulling away from the field. It's very tight together. Rod Weston gets a little loose coming out turn 4, raises the wall. I don't want to do that too many times with these open wheel cars. But these guys aren't really. There's maybe about 10 seconds of difference between first and 15. So these guys aren't within super far distance of anyone on the track at the moment, and it's a short track too. So it's not. My point is, I think the 31 could easily make it back up through the field. Someone else is making it up through the field. Ron Simpson gets the inside of the 37 Spadafora, throws it deep here in turn 1, pulls it off. Spadafora will fall back to the 7th spot, but Ron Simpson up into that 6th position, knocking on the back door of the top 5. Going to focus his efforts on DJ Hinsky, presumably in that 14.
I don't think you can miss that 14 car with that neon green.
Yeah, that's part of it. You need that recognition, that brand recognition. Just has some really, really vibrant colors. Dan Rubino pulling off track here to let the leaders on by. Herman Reese going to pull on by in the 73. The moment, it seems like Reese has been able to hold about a half-second gap on the 21 Rubino, which is, that 2 or 3 car lengths we're talking about, but it seems like it's sticking pretty fairly right now. And shows that 73 definitely still has some speed in it. You got to wonder if that 21, if the handling's starting to go away on it, or what's going on there.
Do you think there is a level now that we've run 25 laps, or we're running lap 25? I don't know exactly where we are. I don't have the lap counter right in front of me. As you've seen, this 21 wash up, he's getting really tight on entry. Now that we're kind of, are we over that hump of where you've gotten all the good out of the tires? Now you're just trying to hold on.
I would think you're right. And one car I'm seeing having that issue right now, but it's like a Jim Windrow getting a challenge by the 86 of Darrell Brown for that 3rd spot. Windrow's trying to hang on to it, but that car is running 24.9s right now in this little back grouping right here for 3rd position. Like I said earlier, they were running 23.3s. They're 1.2 seconds or more off of their best laps at the moment on these worn tires. 26 laps in here. And it looks like the 86 will pull away from the 36 of Windrow, and they'll kind of fall into line for the moment. But looking back to the field, Rod Weston getting a challenge by the 31 and the 57. Kind of at the same time, double whammy. Jeff Stackenis throws it in turn 1, makes that pass. He's going to start trying to size up the 57 of Keller here.
Well, Keller got by Stackenis because he was right. Because wasn't Keller behind Stackenis earlier?
Oh yeah, you're right. Keller did get on by Stackenis. My bad.
No, you're good. But he's getting on that apron. He kind of got that little line. Gives you a little too much. Turn in the wheel. Look at the inside of Spadafora.
They said Spadafora didn't look like he turned coming off turn 3 there.
That 37 is awful
here,
right now.
And 31 both blow right on by him. Got really tight there.
You can tell that car just feels awful.
I think we're seeing where the good in the tires goes critical, because the 36 is also coming down.
So first
188
takers
of Larry D as well. Excuse me.
36, 37 coming down pit road. You also said the 188 Larry D coming on down.
Now, Joe, do you think this is on fuel, or do you think this is?
Oh, this is definitely on tires. This has to be on
Brenda
tires.
Spadafora is on pit road at the moment. 19 of Weston's coming down. Duke Sorensen, the 59's coming to pit road.
So, I'll give you this, right? We both run our fair share of races here at Iowa. I've been in races where, it's a 2-stop race or it's a 3-stop race. It's about how well you can use the tires. It looks like, oh, he's still going pace. I was about to say Herman Reese coming to pit road, but he keeps it out there. I've been in both of those situations. I want to pit the least amount of times because that's the least amount of times I can screw up as a race car driver coming to pit road. But if you're able to, we're going to see these guys come down pit road. What'd you say the fall off was? 2 seconds?
Yeah, close to it.
So, I mean, that's 2 seconds a lap for 5-6 laps. You can make up the time that you lost. It's just about making sure, you don't make those mistakes. I never like making the extra pit stop, though. I don't have to. That's why I think these leaders, they're going to try to stay out as long as they can to try to shorten up the race for themselves and their pit crews. That was my insight. It wasn't very good, was it?
Ain't good. But looking out here right now, Herman Reese hanging on, staying out here on those old tires. A lot of guys still out there fighting here. Darryl Brown's hanging out here. Hinsky's still there. Ron Simpson is.
Steve Rubino came down pit road.
Yeah, these guys just hanging out right now. But you got to think Herman Reese is really killing time right now by staying out on those tires.
Seeing Duke Sorensen.
Running, yeah, you see what Duke Sorensen's doing here on fresh tires. That's going to be a huge difference here as they come to turn 1.
Duke was running back half of the top 10 before he came down to get those tires. So, I mean, that's the difference, right? I mean, we know this 73 is really quick. You lose the rubber on the tires, you lose a lot of speed. And that's what makes these tracks really fun, right? Drivers always want tire wear because it presents you an extra challenge, especially for races like this where we got strung out relatively quickly compared to maybe some of the other short tracks where we race.
Also, 86 of Brown on pit road, misses his pit stall a little bit, had to back up. That's going to hurt him a little bit. But Hinsky comes down the 14. So, second place will be Ron Simpson, the 25. Keller, the 57, is in third at the moment. And then
Simpson coming down pit road now.
Just Kennis. Yeah, these guys are all kind of pacing around. But yeah, 25 Simpson comes down as I was saying that. Herman Reese really trying to hang on out here. Running 25.1 seconds right now compared to his best lap of 23.3. So quite literally running almost 2 seconds off of that time at the moment. It just kind of gives you an idea how much of a difference there is there. But there is a caveat to it that if Herman Reese can hang on to those tires and maybe cut this race down a little more. The 31 Jeff Stekens way up the track right for the 21. They keep it clean, but Stekens looks like he has some trouble there trying to break for pit road. Makes it down.
Sure, replay that.
50th Tyler Stallhood is coming down.
Stekens trying to send it onto pit road. You gotta get down there going into turn 3. Sent it a little too hard. Yeah, like you said, that is scary if you're Steven Brinos, Brendan Spadafora. Because you don't want to scuff up those new tires you just got.
No, and you're seeing it right now. You really need all that rubber. But Herman Reese is doing something interesting here because we're talking about a 125 lap race, and a lot of these guys are pitting on like lap 30, so it's almost that's almost like a 4-stop race at that point, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, I mean over that. But,
yeah.
No, 3 stops because you go to 30, then you go to 30, you go to 60, you go to 90.
You got a 120,
yeah.
And then you got to figure out where those other 5 laps are somewhere in all of that. Herman Reese here, staying out till lap 40 or later, he's going to chop off close to a quarter of this race. He might be able to make it on 3 stops if he consistently does that, which if he does, that's going to be a very interesting long con here because a lot of these guys are good. As you're seeing right now, a lot of these guys are just blowing on by him on track, running
close.
2 seconds faster than their leader at the moment, but they might need to make one more stop.
Right. I mean, that's what I like with I think Steve Rubino came down, what, like 32, 33? So if he consistently does that, runs 33, 32 laps, he'll get that 5 laps he needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the 57 comes down to pit road right now. That was the last man out there that wasn't that 73 Cadillac of Herman Reese. So Reese really is the only the last man on the boat at the moment in terms of pitting. Here comes Herman Reese down pit road. Will make his stop on lap 42 of 125. So if he keeps doing that, I think he can make it on 3 stops.
Yeah, but he's going to surrender the lead here. He's not going to cycle through because Rubino was a lap down, just got by him. Rubino's at speed, probably already onto the back straightaway.
Yeah, Reese is definitely not going to come back out the leader, but if he keeps up with this strategy and he's 1 pit stop ahead of everyone, then he just has to make it to the end of the race and then hope that we don't get a caution somewhere that evens everyone out.
But that's what I was talking about with this 21 car, because he went the 3 laps extra from 30. So he's in a position where he only needs 3 stops too. Herman Reese might be in a spot where he only needs 2 stops, right? I think is that where we're doing the math? Because if Reese can go 40, he went to 42.
42, he does 84, it again, that's going to be 84, and then he does that one more time, that would be
126.
126, yeah. So
So in theory, he can do it on 2 stops. It's going to be about what this 21 car does, because has he cycled through to be the leader yet?
They are coming around right now. It's let's see where everyone cycles through. Herman Reese is going to hit the line here, and he is going to be in the 9th position. So
Yeah.
give you an idea where those tires are doing. Right now, 36 machine of Jim Windrow will be leading this event.
Okay, and he was
Windrow pitted early.
he was the first to
this is gonna
pit.
be another thing about that strategy. He's gonna have to come in a lot earlier than some of these guys, putting up some fast laps right now. But again, Herman Reese is not gonna have to come in for quite a while. But 21 of Steve Rubino is right up there in that 2nd spot. We're talking about that, Joe. If he could do that in 3 stops, you know, he's in a good position at the moment, running in that 2nd position, that 2nd spot, running very fast lap times at the moment on that fresh rubber. It's gonna be something to keep an eye on. We're gonna have to keep track of it. And everyone at home might need to get a notebook out and a pen.
I got mine out.
Start taking notes because this might be on the test later.
Okay, so Rubino was the 6th guy to come down pit road. Windrow was obviously the 1st guy to come down pit road. So that gave him, what, about a 1.5-second gap to the 21, where before he was behind the 21
Yep.
by about 3/4 tenths maybe. So that's a net gain of almost 2 seconds by coming 2 laps earlier. 2 or 3, I forget the exact laps where everyone came down. But that is a lot of time to be gained. But if you do have to make that extra pit stop, and there's guys like Herman Reese that only have to do 2, I mean,
Yeah, it might not be.
you can gain a lot of time by not having to make that extra pit stop.
We'll have to see, but for the moment, 36 car Jim Windrow is logging up the laps here, getting those bonus points for leading. Black 36 machine just taking it around the track easy here, just trying to make it to this next round of pit stops. I'm sure trying to figure out how to make his next move. Right in spat of 437, 3rd position, gets way up the turn in turn 1 here. It's very tight there for a moment. Looks like he has some handling issues. Hangs on to the 3rd spot, but he's got Jim Brown, the 86, right behind him. And Brown's looking fast at the moment.
Darryl
See
Brown.
inside the 37 spat of 4. They are side by side here, coming down the front straightaway. And the 86 is going to throw it in, and he is going to take that spot.
It's on by Spatafor was running fringe top 10, right? Before we came down, he's probably running 8th or so. So he gained 5 positions by coming down early, but now he's going to start losing these spots. You saw Brown go by. Hinsky has now made his way around. So that's 2 spots now he's lost, so he's still at a +3. Still positive. But, there's a big caveat there. Now you got to try to hold on to those positions, and you got to be willing to fight for them, too. That's the other thing. I don't think people, when we talk about these strategies, you have to start fighting for the positions. You have to start fighting the guys when they're coming up to try to pass you, because they do have better stuff than you, whether it be 2, 3, 4, 10 laps, whatever it may be. And when those guys have better stuff than you, it's going to be a lot easier for them to pass you, so then you got to fight a lot harder to kind of compensate for that gap.
Yeah, and, you know, it's just... It might feel cheap to be on older tires and be fighting these guys, but the truth is that as part of the strategy, you kind of have to screw up strategies of people that are doing better than you at the moment, because you don't really know when they're going to come gunning for you. For the moment, someone that is gunning for someone out here right now, Steve Rubino in that 21, really putting up some good lap times at the moment.
He's into the
Raises
wall.
the wall a little bit, though. Doesn't want to do that too many times, but he is chasing this 36 of Windrow right now.
Folks, be a friend, tell a friend, as we're watching the battle for the lead start to heat up. Steve Rubino trying to find his way around Jim Windrow for the lead in that 36 car. Windrow pit about 5 laps earlier than the 21, so that's how he got around him. Now Rubino trying to make his way around that 36 for the lead. Take the lead for the first time here tonight. 21 coming off of a DNF last week at Airborne. He's going to take the lead off of turn number 2. Make sure, if you haven't already, you're subscribed to us here on JTN, the JoeTow Network. I'm Joe. He's Ricky here in the booth at the Iowa Speedway. Can't thank you folks enough for tuning in here tonight on a Thursday night. Make sure you drop a like, too. That helps support us so much. Helps the whole YouTube algorithm. distribute this to more people so more people can enjoy our great content here on JTN. Thank you all so much for tuning in here on this Thursday night. Steve Rubino getting really loose.
19 to Rod Weston gets the outside wall in turn 1, almost spins it, keeps it straight. But the 5th spot, Rod Weston, that Red Bull machine. I had a bit of a moment there, Joe. I almost brought out a caution. Would have thrown a huge wrench into Herman Reese's plan, who's currently running in the 8th position.
There's a lot of guys that seem like they're starting to fight that tight condition again. We're closing in on when these guys, if they're going to run 30, they're going to have to pit. We're closing in on it.
That 188's in 16th position. I believe he was a lap down. Yes, last car on the lap down spot. But that might be a sign of things to come. 44 is coming down. 37 Spata4 is coming in.
That's early. This 37's committing to almost 4 stops at this point.
It's going to be a tricky one, Joe. You know, the thing is, if you are banking on a caution, 17 a push rod actually catches the wall a little bit off turn 2. If you're banking on a caution right now, pitting early wouldn't be the worst idea because fresh tires, if you could cycle it out and be in a spot like the 21 and the 36 are right now where they're near the front, running fast times, kind of maintaining that lead. It's 59. Sorensen's coming in too. And you get the right timing with that caution, well, then you're on the same footing as everyone else, and you get to be in the front of the field. It's double whammy. So there almost is a bit of strategy to just short pitting that it's almost like a game of chance right now. These guys just are thinking that somewhere between now and the next half of this race, there's going to be some kind of caution that's going to bring everyone back together. Tyler Stallhood gets the wall off turn 4 in the 15, 9th position.
If you're the 21 of Steve Rubino right now, and you were fighting with Herman Reese for the lead, Reese back in 7th, 14 seconds back, are you thinking about trying to make these tires last a little bit longer this run and maybe try to make it on one more stop?
You're Herman Reese. I don't know, because he's probably already pushing it with how far that he put it last time. I think he is currently, by just pitting as late as he did, if he just does that 2 more times, and he'll just by default
Reese only have to
basically a leg up on everyone in terms of pit strategy. He just needs it to stay green.
So Reese is only going to have to make one more stop. If he
because of 36 of Windrow, by the way.
If he continues to go 42, like he did, or 45, or whatever it was, he'll only need one more stop. My idea there with Rubino, if he can go to 45.50, he pit on around 35, he puts himself on even footing with the 73, he's probably going to lose a little bit of time here on this run, but if he puts himself on even footing, he's already got that big gap, that 14-second or so gap that I was just mentioning, where he can kind of play. It gives you a little wiggle room in terms of calling the strategy for this race.
Yeah, it definitely does, but man, it is hard to follow, isn't it?
Can you tell Ricky and I, we're engineers, and our thought process is, what is the safest way?
We're out here trying to understand checkers, and these guys are playing chess. But at the moment, 36, as he is down, the 21 is the leader on track, Steve Rubino.
Doesn't look like we got any battles on track right now. Maybe Stakhena's trying to get around Bushrod. Don't know if that's for position.
And we'll keep our eyes set back straight away, see if anyone else goes down pit road at any time. Steve Rubino gets tight here in turn 1. Wants to make sure he doesn't do that too much. Darryl Brown's 5 seconds behind him, but he really doesn't want to be losing any more lap time to these guys behind him than he already is on that worn rubber.
Look how slow these guys are going through the corners now as we're getting to the end of this fuel run, or tire run, I guess is probably a more accurate statement. I mean, they just look slow, don't they?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's tires. It's just tires. It just eats. It's like you can tell these guys are fighting it out there. But here comes our leader, Steve Rubino, on lap 65 of 125. Comes down pit road here, so he'll probably have to do one more stop before the end of this.
Yeah. So what? He ran 30 that time.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So now it's all about getting the most of the goods. That's going to surrender the lead to the 86. 86 coming down pit road. That should surrender the lead to the 14 of DJ Hinsky. Bright neon green, victory modified, is Ron Simpson coming up behind him. The strategy's all over the place, folks. I'm doing my best to keep track of who's on the lead lap and who isn't, but it is a mess out here. There's Herman Reese in that 73 starting to creep into the picture of the battle for the lead.
And position after position as these guys come down pit road. Oh, 15, Tyler Stallhood gets into the outside wall, hangs on to it. We stay green. 19, Rod Weston's coming off pit road. Darryl Brown's on pit road. Wade Driscoll just misses pit stall in the 78, but is on pit road at the moment.
Not what you want to do.
Justin Kennis in the 4th position coming down.
Not what you want to do in your maiden voyage here in the HOBO Racing Modified series. I don't think when they said, you know, when they talked about modified pit stops here at Iowa, I don't think they meant like, oh, you can hit outside the box. You can slide through it.
DJ Hinsky, the 14, now coming down. 17, a push rod, catch the outside wall, though right ahead. The 9th position, point one. Steve Rubino almost gets into him. They stay clean, but that was almost an incident.
Well, you know.
And now Herman Reese is like, if a caution comes out right now,
I'm good.
I got the track position,
That's
so I'm
fine.
good with that.
Take some of the guys that I was competing with, they're a lap down. They're still gonna have to make a stop. I'm probably I'll still have to make one. Probably. We'll be looking at sitting pretty.
Sitting pretty indeed. 17, a push rod is on pit road, but for the moment, I think it's the only car on pit road. Hinsky coming off of pit road here, so everyone's starting to cycle through, and Herman Reese has now reassumed the lead from Ron Simpson. And Herman Reese should be staying out here for a little bit until those tires completely give out. I would imagine he's going to be out here for maybe another 10 laps or so, Joe.
I didn't know Cadillacs got that good of fuel mileage.
Hey, you got pretty good fuel mileage.
I guess luxury cars are probably a little easier on the shoes, huh?
I would say so, yeah. Got an optimal seating position on all that leather.
Yo, he's probably got a real comfy seat in that 73. I bet you it's cool.
God knows I don't. But right now on track, Herman Reese will just kind of logging laps right now. Ron Simpson back here trying to do the same, but definitely running a lot slower than Reese is at the moment by almost 0.7 of a second.
Windrow was able to hot Rubino too. Again, by pitting those, it was probably like 5 laps earlier. So those laps earlier that you're able to pit Simpson coming down pit road.
Alex Stallhood in that 15 car also coming down pit road here was in that 3rd spot, trying to kind of hang out on this tire run as long as possible. Finally had to tag out on it. But here comes the 25 with Simpson, like you said, and now I think we're back to just the 73 of the 57 is the only guys that need to pit, Joe.
Funny how it's the same guys. It's almost like they have really close strategies to each other.
It's almost like they're like 5 steps ahead of us.
It's almost like they actually know what they're doing. Folks, we do know one thing here at JTN. It's that if you're in the market for some new diecast racing vehicles, you're gonna head on over to CircleDiecast.com. You're gonna use code JTN at checkout to receive free shipping on your order of $20 or more. Again, that's JTN at checkout for free shipping on your order of $20 or more. CircleDiecast.com, your home for all your racing needs, racing memorabilia needs. I don't think they have like Goodyear's, Hoosiers, although there is a tire shortage, so I don't think anyone has those right now. But can't thank you folks enough for all you do for us. If you're in the market for some new diecasts, use our code at checkout. It'll save you money, and we'll also get some help. So can't thank you guys enough for when you use that code.
Around right now, that 73 Herman Reese still just logging laps. But he's about to lap the 57 years, so you got to think that at that point it's going to be almost a moot point if the 57's been staying out this long if he's already a lap down.
Yeah, and that goes back. We've always talked about Herman Reese being really good at saving the tires, conserving the equipment. So it goes back to that. The 73 that when you pick a strategy, and this isn't anything against the 57, because I don't know any better. But we know this strategy works for Reese because we know that this driver in the 73 car, he's really good at conserving his stuff, right? So, there's been races. let's talk about it like this. There's been races I've been in. I've had teammates. We're talking strategies before the races. There's almost contact there with the 57 and 73. The strategy that I run is probably not going to be the same strategy my teammate runs for a couple of reasons. You know, we're different parts of the field, but also we have different skill sets, right? So you really have to make sure you match up your strategy with your driver. And in this case, the driver's making the strategy, so you just got to match those two things up well. And when they mash up well, you get this 73 in the lead. Sometimes when they don't match up great, then you have problems going a lap down. Herman Reese down now onto the pit lane.
Herman Reese coming down right now, and he'll get those 4 fresh tires. They should get him theoretically to the end. Stopped a little shorter than it came in a little quicker than I thought he was gonna. I believe the last time he ran it to 41 laps.
Oh yeah.
So interesting that came down at 80 here, but I would think he should be able to make it to the end, if not very close. I think they should be able to save maybe 4 laps on fuel if he needs to, with how short this track is. It's just going to be a matter of, can those tires hold out? Yeah, will this race stay green? But for the moment, 36, 57 comes down pit road. For the moment, 36 of Jim Windrow will now reassume the lead here at Iowa. Windrow's going to get a lot of lap slide here tonight.
He's doing a good job with the strategy now. Here's the other thing with Windrow now, right? We talked about it earlier with Rubino, but Windrow's got a huge lead over that 21 car. 21 and Rubino just now coming off of turn number 2. So something went wrong for the 21 on the pit stop, because Windrow has a huge lead over him. Ron Simpson there in that 25, he's a lap down right now. But Windrow with a huge lead right now.
As they race around this place, it's kind of all spread out. Yes, people are navigating lap traffic, but here comes Ron Simpson coming up alongside the 36. Simpson, I think, has fresher tires at the moment, so Windrow's going to let him on by here. Looking a little further back to the field, it really is kind of a single file affair throughout the entire pack at the moment, Joe. Is all these guys are just on varying strategies. It's almost like a waiting game at the moment, trying to figure out who's going to do what next.
How do you play? What's your play here? If you're the 36, what's your play? Are you coming in as soon as you're in the window? As soon as you get to lap, say, 92?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you can't make it all the way to the end. That's going to be the issue at that point. It's just all these guys out here, if they don't get a caution, everyone's kind of made their bet on strategy at the moment. It's just a matter of, can you execute to the end of the race here?
Well, it's going to be coming up through some traffic. Weston sliding up the track. Spadafora out there in front at 37. Simpson was dicing through them. Putting these guys a lap down.
Sherrod and Larry D racing for 15th and 16th back here. Larry D's going to pull ahead past the 17, take that 15th spot.
Guy we really haven't had a chance to talk about tonight too much, Jeff Stakenis, last week's winner, currently running 7th?
Yeah. 59 Duke Swords are coming down as we talked about that, but that 31 Stakenis, we were talking about that. He's going to have to kind of climb his way through the field. He's been doing a good job of it, but I honestly thought he was going to be able to make it all the way to the front, but maybe unfortunately the way the strategy's kind of fallen put him at a bit of a deficit for the moment.
Yeah, I was going to say, I figured he would need a caution or two to kind of bunch him back up, especially with how quick we got strung out. Because I mean,
fifth position is nothing to sneeze at.
No. But getting to the front, getting up into the lead, because this 31's got the pace to do it. It's just there's not enough time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're getting at.
Okay, Herman Reese has made his way around Steve Rubino for 2nd. Nope, never mind. Reese is a lap down, isn't he? Or am I screwing up? Yeah, Reese is a lap down. I don't know why I thought that was for position, but I did. But Herman Reese in that 73, we're thinking he's probably going to go to the end on those tires, on that tank of fuel. Welcome, Average Joe Adventures. if he can go to the end here, Ricky, he's the guy that we're looking at probably going to victory lane, right? Not to jinx it, but
you could say that, but we don't know until it's over, and I'm not ready to say anything because one poorly timed caution here throws everything out the window that we're talking about. Is the 44 Dan Rubino's on pit road, coming to take tires.
Make his final stop of the night, not the night the 44 team was looking for after qualifying up towards the front of the field, up inside the top 5. Rubino gonna look for a little better luck on Tuesday night here on JTN with the Modifieds again from HOBO Racing on the old birthday. So, gonna look to have a better run as the birthday boy on Tuesday. Well, Bristol's telling me I gotta sell some merch, so here it goes. Our JTN logo merch is available on the JTN merch store. Make sure you go check it out if you're in the market for a new t-shirt. Summer's winding down, so you might be in the market for a new hoodie. Now, our JTN hoodies, they are super, super soft, super, super comfortable. I absolutely love the 2 that I have. You get them now on the JTN merch store, linked in the description below. Our JTN logo merch. I believe these aren't the exact colors we have them available in anymore, though. But it's just got our JTN box logo on it. It looks good, feels good, and you also help support us here on JTN. Again, that's our JTN logo merch available now on the JTN merch store.
$37 of Brendan Spatafora has now come down pit road.
36 on pit road.
We're getting near put up or shut up time, Joe. 36 of Jim Windrow's coming back off pit road. Coming onto pit road, excuse me.
So Steve Rubino's going to take over the lead, and this is where, if you're the 21, I want to pit as close to that 36, because he has hopped me now 2 stops in a row. You know what I mean? I want to come as close to him as I can.
Yeah, I would say so as well. You kind of just hope that he has some... If you're the 21, you're kind of hoping that he has some kind of setback, but he gets into his pit road square and secure, and 36 getting that service that he needs. But for the moment, Steve Rubino has a haunting lead, I guess, because he knows that he's got to come back down here.
Unless he tries to stretch it to the end, which I think it's doable. You're going to have to be really easy on those tires. You're going to have to absolutely baby them around here. Because there's guys behind you that you know are pushing it already, and then the guys that are going to come down pit road, they're going to be able to push it too. So Rubino in this 21, he's kind of a lame duck leader. I think that's probably a good way to put it. If he has to make another pit stop, or he chooses to make another pit stop, but if he decides to stay out here, he's going to look like a genius.
Indeed he will, but for the moment, he's just waiting here, hoping that something happens that throws this race in his favor. For the moment, he's just sort of a sitting duck for Herman Reese's strategy, as these guys have to come back down pit road.
Remember, folks, to stick around after the conclusion of this one. We'll talk with our top 3 drivers. I'm sure we will have plenty to talk about, especially the strategy of this one, because it's been all over the place for these drivers. We'll get a chance to talk with them. You're going to want to stick around here on JTN to hear those interviews coming up right after the conclusion of this one. Rubino down on pit road.
21 of Rubino comes down pit road. Darrell Brown's going to come with him. And what that's going to allow is for Ron Simpson to assume the lead for a little bit here. 25 laps, though, for that 25 machine. I don't think he's going to be able to make it. He's going to have to come back down pit road. I think a lot of these guys ahead of him are all going to be the same story. You see the 31 Stakanis coming down from 4th position. Someone might be able to stretch it. You never know. But, man, it's such a tough task.
Tough task indeed. I would try it, though. But I'm crazy. I'm a little bit crazy. A little bit insane.
Yeah, you don't know if you don't try.
Exactly. Wade Driscoll coming down onto the pit lane. Not the first modified race he was looking to have, but a solid night. Didn't get in any trouble. I think that's what you can ask for in your maiden voyage here. In any league, really, is to just have a solid night. Don't get in anyone's way. Don't cause any trouble out on the racetrack. Kennis off of pit road. There's Steve Rubino. He's all over the back bumper of that 73, so this is where he's going to unlap himself from that 73 car, Herman Reese. That's what you're watching, because the rest of these guys out in front, the 25 of Simpson, the 14 of Hinsky, who's our leader, they're going to have to come back down pit road. That's what you're really watching, is if these guys, they can unlap themselves from that 73 and make up enough time to get by him before this one's over. Now, at 73, if he runs those tires a little too hard, he's going to be in a position where he's going to have to come down pit road, because I don't know if you've ever had it happen to you here at Iowa, Ricky, but I've definitely had tires blow out here, and that is not a fun experience hitting that wall at about 125 miles per hour.
It is not fun, especially with all this banking here. It's a long time to get to that wall at this place.
It's a long way, and you lose a little bit of that speed up the banking, and this track, of course, is the only one that was built with safer barriers when it was originally constructed. So, you know, it's a little more cushiony. Not great, but it's a little more cushiony. So I think Hinsky's going to try to stretch it as long as he can. Thinking that's the play, right? That's got to be the play.
I would think so as well. There's not much else he could do here other than just try to stretch it and hope that something happens.
Is the 36 ahead of the 21 still?
Hey, here comes the 14 of Hinsky race. You said that, Joe. You jinxed him, but
Well,
he's coming down pit road.
Unfortunate. There's 21 Rubino side by side with Spada 4. Gonna make that pass Spada 4 with older tires. So right now, the battle, it's looking like it's gonna come down to this 36, Jim Windrow. And then the 73 of Herman Reese. Am I doing that correctly? Yep.
I think so.
Windrow about 4.5 seconds back right now, the 73. Now, the 73 is on a lot older tires. Trying to make it to the end, do a two-stop strategy. Will he be able to hold on?
That's good. We'll have to see here. Right now, it's looking pretty good.
What are the lap times? What's the lap time? So this time by the line, lap time is 73, lap time is 50. I know you love looking at the data.
Lap time 73. Waiting. Hits a line. And Herman Reese right at 24.279. And then the 36 of Jim Windrow, sorry, ran at 23.606. So it's not
That wasn't
bad. Yeah, not as bad as you think.
Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be like almost half a second.
Right now, 3.5 seconds behind our leader, but he is hanging on here.
And if you're Herman Reese, what you like to see behind you is it's only that 36, right? You don't have some other guys on newer tires a little bit quicker coming up behind you, because in that case, those guys, they can make their way around you. They're going to take away your preferred line. They're going to do all kinds of stuff to make you a little scared, too. That's never good, but right now, it's looking up for this 73 on the two-stop strategy.
Okay, now, yeah, it's looking good for him, but we'll just have to kind of sit here a ways. We're at lap 111 to 125, getting close to that 10 to go mark here, Joe.
Yep.
Can Herman Reese hang on to this? 3.5 down to a 2.09 second gap for the 36. So he's running a little faster than the leader at the moment.
Just a little bit. What was it, 4.5, 5 laps ago?
Yeah. Let's see, oh my goodness, 2.09 down to a 1.59 for Jim Windrow. This is Joe, can the 36 make it all the way to the end here?
Well, I don't know. With the way he's running these tires, I mean, he's running aggressive right now down into the corner. What lap did he pit on?
I'm not actually sure.
Well, he was like one of the guys that was going shorter. He was going like 30, so he'll have to go 5 more laps than what he has all night. And that doesn't sound like a lot, folks, but that is a lot here at Iowa, especially on the old tires.
But he is gaining on our leader, Herman Reese, by a lot right now.
I mean, you can
down
see
to
that gap
1.1
closing.
second gap as they come through 3 and 4, coming off. Herman Reese looking to take the line for a 114 and 125, so that's 12 to go. Almost at 11. But look, the 36 Windrow is a half second here. He's right here, Joe.
He's there. I mean, he's going to make this pass in a lap or two. Reese is going to have to make that car wide.
Reese is definitely going to want to hold him up if he can.
Plant
Here
it in
comes
the
Jim
corner.
Windrow. He's got that inside line. Can he get to grip up? He gets the nose to the inside of the 73. They're going to be side by side. Here come down the front straightaway. Urban Reese has a small lead. Mind you, small 36. And Windrow throws it in. Jim Windrow takes the lead here. 11 laps to go at Iowa Speedway. I don't know, Joe. Dude, what do you think?
I mean, he's got to
make it.
He has to make it.
Maybe there was something to that short pitting. Maybe we were wrong all night.
I mean, what?
It's totally viable. It's very likely that we were wrong all night, honestly.
I mean, what's new there? Of course, this is our TWB 10 to go. On behalf of TWB, head on over to GardenLightStrack.com. From porches to patios to more for all your outdoor laying needs. GardenLightStrack.com has the hookup. Again, that's GardenLightStrack.com. GardenLightStrack.com. GardenLightStrack.com here on your TWB 10 to go, because together we are better.
From across the line, Duke Sorensen comes up hero. This 36, right now, he's running about 3/10 faster than Herman Reese. Just has about a second gap on that second place car at the moment. So Windrow's got a fast machine here. It's just a matter of can he make it to the end.
Right now, third is the 21 of Steve Rubino, correct?
Yes, it is.
And he is a long ways back, almost 3/4 of a lap back of the 36. So that's the guy that, and then almost half a lap back of the, well, almost 3/4 of a lap back of the 73. So Herman Reese is the guy. He's hoping that 36 has to come down pit lane because he needs it. Point, right? What more can you do at this point? But Jim Windrow, what a night for the driver of this 36 car.
Definitely is. It's been a great night from right now. Herman Reese in that second spot, just trying to hang on to the end. It's got a pretty good gap, letting a ton of these lap cars on by just because they have fresher rubber. Really, at the moment, he's just kind of trying to wait this out. For the moment, this is looking like it's looking pretty good for Jim Windrow as he's coming around here.
I mean, it's looking pretty dang good.
It is looking pretty dang good, but you don't give him the race until we have the that checkered flag in the air, and he's still got 5 laps to go here as he comes across the line and takes it for 5 laps. Jim Windrow in first. Herman Reese is in second. The 21, Steve Rubino, is in third. In fourth spot, the 86 of Darryl Brown. Then fifth, a lap down, the 31 of Jess Stakenis. Now, Joe, he did a pretty good job, Stakenis has. At least getting into that top 5. He's got a challenge from Ron Simpson at the moment. I don't know if he's going to hang on to that position, but you got pretty close to the front there.
I have to think what could have been for that 31 team if they did go out there for qualifying tonight.
Yeah, you never know. Things could change in a moment. But right now, for Jim Windrow on that 36, I think he's just trying to make it to the end here. Letting these guys on by, do the same thing Herbert Reese did. Just let these guys kind of blow on by him here on that fresher rubber. And
you gotta baby those tires.
Yeah, and there's no reason to fight him.
3 to go.
Windrow's got a 5-second gap right now on Herman Reese, so it really doesn't matter if he's got to make sure that he gets that machine to the end of this race. He doesn't have to worry about what's in his rearview mirror. All he has to worry about is what's in front of him here and execute for the next 2 laps.
Welcome in, Patrick. 2 laps to go. Even right at the end.
Because we are getting right to the end of this, Ken. Jim Windrow, hang on here. On an interesting bit of strategy, we thought Herman Reese had it tonight, but this 36 car found something creative here and has rubber to spare, it looks like, as he's coming off turn 4 here to take the white flag in the lead. Can Jim Windrow win this race?
He'll see that white flag one final time here from the Iowa Speedway.
One final time, and he's just going to try to baby it through here. He doesn't need to push it at all. He's just going to make sure that that thing's still under power when he hits a line. It's all gravy for him as he's coming down the back straightaway here and into turn 3.
Into turns 3 and 4. Jim Windrow decided to do 3 stops for Dale. He's going to go to victory lane here at the Iowa Speedway. Jim Windrow wins at Iowa. And
waiting on him. There's
Herman Reese. Ravine almost got there. What a drive from this guy in the 36 car.
What a great drive. You know, he was leading so many laps tonight, Joe. I was thinking, oh, this isn't going to pay off. This is going to pay off. But my goodness, it definitely paid off for Jim Windrow. What a great bit of strategy here with 36 team to get that victory tonight.
Takes it down to the start-finish line. He'll do some burnouts. Jim Windrow, your winner here at the Iowa Speedway. I think he's trying to go to Pizza Ranch Victory Lane. Can you get to Victory Lane here?
I actually can't remember.
Feel like you can. There it is. There he goes. Don't run over any fans. Got that Hooters Pro Cup Series hauler there. Pulls it into Victory Lane here at Iowa. So, folks, we're going to get those results on your screen momentarily. Talk with our top 3 drivers after this one. Can't thank you enough for tuning in. As always, make sure if you got to go, you got to go. But make sure before you go, drop a like on the video. Again, it helps us so much. And if you haven't already, subscribe. We got the best NR 2003 online series, online league racing on all the web right here on JTN. Results again on your screen momentarily. Wait for our top 3 to make their way into Media Center. Talk with them about all the strategy here tonight because there was a lot of it, Ricky.
There was definitely a lot of it.
And we're going to be back with HOBO Racing Modified action on Tuesday night, special night for a special day. Coverage beginning there, 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time. You're not going to want to miss that one live here. Yeah, and make sure if you're subscribed, you can hit the little bell. You'll be notified anytime we go live right here, youtube.com/JoeTowNetwork. Herman Reese has made his way, so we'll go ahead. We'll talk with him. First driver, the number 73 Cadillac, Herman Reese. 2-stop strategy tonight, Herman. Does that just because your skill set of saving tires, it really plays to trying to do that strategy?
It didn't work out, so that would be a negative. Yeah, I was calculating in the beginning, and I saw how far, and I had such a big lead 30 laps in. I should have probably just pitted then, but I tried to stretch it. And that first run cost me. It wouldn't have mattered. Jim had the right strategy, and it paid off. And great race. I mean, the guys, you know, if I get a caution any one of those 2 pit stops, I'm a lap ahead of the field. So, but I kind of knew my goose was cooked after that second stop, and I come out behind those guys. And that, you know, a couple more laps, Steve would have got me. Had Steve pitted with Jim, he would have finished second tonight. But good points night, extend the lead a little bit more, and I just have to go on to the next race. It was a good race. I like this track, and I usually that second run, I never even gotten into 25s. The tires, the left front tire was the tire I was most worried about tonight, and so strategy didn't pay off this time.
Well, is there when you're behind the wheel? I know you said it right there. Figured out the strategy wasn't going to work out for you. Was there an adjustment you could have made to that strategy, or are you, when you see those guys, because like, very long-winded question if you couldn't tell. When you saw that those guys were doing the 3 and you saw pretty much everyone else was doing the 3, did you think, hey, maybe I should just do this strategy with them? I should switch over to it? Did that ever cross your mind, or were you just completely committed to this strategy? And then once you made that second stop, you realized, oh crap, it's not going to work out.
I just didn't feel like it was going to pay off. I knew after the first stop, because I stayed out there quite a while, and I got some bad breaks in traffic and lost 4 or 5 seconds. Again, it wouldn't have mattered. He finished so strong at the end. I just, it's once you make your bid, I just don't know if it's worth, at one point I tried to do the math, and I probably would have been no better than where I'm at right now. So at that point, you roll the dice and hope that somehow somebody blows. This is the first race we had where somebody didn't blow a tire and cause a caution at Iowa.
I was going to say, Iowa just so notorious for those tire failures. Well, you led the most laps tonight. I guess that's some kind of consolation prize. Tied for the most points, of course, leading the most laps, Herman. A great run, nonetheless, even though it wasn't the victory you were hoping for. Before we let you go, you've been up here plenty of times, whether it be as a winner, second place, third place. You know the drill. The floor is yours, buddy.
All right, thanks. Thank you guys for putting on the show. It's fun. I had a good race. All the drivers. It was a good night. And thank the Bino brothers. Happy birthday to Bino. Maybe I told him maybe Tuesday night you guys let me come in the booth instead of race. I won that race the last time we ran there, so I like to get up there and make fun of these guys during one of these shows. But thanks for everything you guys do, and look forward to seeing you again soon.
Hey, Herman, I think we're going to talk to you plenty of times up here in the booth with the way you perform here in the Modified Series. Congratulations once again on the second place finish tonight and continuing to maintain that points lead racing mods. And thank you again so much for taking the time to talk with us.
All right, thank you guys.
Herman Reese, driver of the number 73 Cadillac. After a great finish, but not the finish he wanted.
But like, I don't know.
Oh, oops. I love it when we yank their ear. There we go. Okay, I'm sorry, Steve. I know
That's fine.
you're talking with the publicist. You're talking with the other drivers down there in the media center. We just turn your mic on right away. Right? But
I was schmoozing with the winner, actually. Yeah.
Hey, you got to learn the secrets. Let's talk about that. You had the same strategy as Jim, but he was a little more successful doing it. What do you think the difference was?
Well, after just talking to him, I believe he just conserved the fuel a little bit better. I actually ran out of fuel on the last lap, and I was sputtering coming through the line. I would have had Herman for second if that didn't happen, but it left me a half lap short, which when I came out of the pits on the last pit stop, it said 27 laps to go, and I checked the fuel, and it said no fuel needed. So I thought I was good to go, but I guess I pushed it too hard. I don't think I've ever had that happen to me in this sim.
So it sounds like the computers on top of the pit box need an upgrade because they were thinking, oh, look, he's running 20. What were you saying, Ricky? They were running 24, 25s on the old tires. Oh, well, we're running this pace, so we'll be able to make it to the end. Didn't take those dang computers, Steve. I mean, you build great. But
I've never had that happen, though. Normally, when it tells you that you don't need any fuel, you know, you're good to go, you make it. But not this time.
Did they just not want you to win?
I don't know, you know. But you know, it was a fun race. It really was, and the setup was completely different than I thought when we made it, and it wound up being way more of a tire race tonight, tire/fuel race for me anyway, than I thought it was going to be. I really didn't expect that. So it was a whole surprise the whole night, really.
I mean, talk about that. We went green flag, flag to flag. That's got to feel really the guy that runs. But also everyone, you were very outspoken about it, about the setup just not feeling really good. Practice and happy hour and whatnot. Talk about that though. What are the adjustments you made behind the wheel to maybe feel a little more comfortable with it throughout the race? Was it just because everyone was maybe a little bit easier on it because of that uncomfortable feeling? What do you think went into that?
Well, that's a good question, Joe, because you know I always refer back to Herman because he's the guru of this game, really. And I asked him because you know there are three settings for setups. If you reset the server, there's a tight, a medium, and a loose, and it gives you a random setup on fixed setups. Basically, when you reset your server, that's why we try not to reset the servers on fixed and open setups, not so much fixed, but the setup seemed really weird when we first came in. I didn't even know if we had the right setup loaded. And then once we went to queue, the setup felt good to me. So I asked Herman, I said, Herman, did you ever hear the setup actually changing from practice to queue? And he wasn't really sure about it. Because we've heard about it changing when you reset your server. But once we went to queue, the setup just felt a whole lot better to me. So yeah, I don't know. It was a very strange night.
Hey, that's not a bad problem to have. Hard to feel better for you, Steve. First, before you get to shout out people and stuff, I want to thank you again so much for taking the chance on us. Just under a year ago, having us come out here, HOBO Racing. You guys put on some of the best, if not the best, racing on the web. A great group of guys. And can't thank you enough for having us out here for these races. But before we let you go, you know the drill. Floor is
Yeah.
yours. Family sponsors, you got it.
Well, first I want to thank you guys, Joe, because you do a great job. You really do, and it's been a pleasure the whole time, and hopefully we can still keep working together in the future. Um, as far as who I want to thank, also I want to thank my wife for putting up with me, and she allows me to do this stuff, 3-4 nights a week, and so yeah, thanks to her, and thanks to the guys in the league. My brother Dan, he always has my back, and the other admins as well, and all the guys in the league. Anything I always ask them to do, they may give me a little here and there, but most of the times they're pretty willing, and we always work it out, and they're always behind me in the league. So yeah, thanks to those guys too.
That's how you know you're doing a good job as a followers feel comfortable enough to kind of argue with you a little bit, just kind of ruffle your feathers a little bit. But Steve, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us after this one. Congratulations on a great run here tonight. And so we improved from last week all the way up to third. Do you think we can improve on Tuesday night to get to victory lane to kind of spoil the birthday boy's birthday?
I'm not sure. Oh, by the way, before I answer that question, I want to thank everyone, all the viewers too. I don't know if my sisters were in here tonight, but I think they were.
Mhm.
And thank all those guys and women for coming out and cheering every time we have a live race. But as far as next Tuesday night for the birthday race, the Bino and Barbara birthday race, I do much better at Iowa. I've always seemed to done well, at this track, and not so much at New Hampshire. I struggle there a lot, but I'm gonna give it a try.
Gonna give it a try. That's all you can do, Steve. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us after this one, and congratulations once again on the third place.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Ricky.
All right, thank you.
Steve Rubino. Thank you for getting
Take care,
Ricky
guys.
involved. Steve Rubino, driver the number 21. He's been waiting for a while. We've kind of kept him waiting. Driver the number 36, Mr. Jim Windrow. Jim, you got a copy?
We do.
Oh my goodness. You absolutely floored him on that strategy tonight, huh?
Yeah, we just rolled with what the tires gave us, and we second to last pit stop. We watched how many laps we could get in between the run, and made the last pit stop count, and tried to give ourselves about a 4 or 5 lap cushion to where we knew we could try to get back up front and have tires for the end.
I was gonna say, you were the first guy to come down pit road at the start of this race. When you make the call to do 3 stops, we all know like the idea is right. You want to make sure that a caution doesn't for everyone else. Were you at all worried with the way this race started, how everyone got strung out, that strategy wouldn't work because of cautions happening, or did you feel more confident in the strategy because the way the race started out?
I felt pretty good with the way the race started out. It's a big track, obviously, 7/8 mile, but it got strung out, and you could run your own race, really. I pushed it a little too hard, but thankfully I did push it too hard on that first run, trying to keep up with Steve and Herman, and it actually worked out to our benefit, to where we had to back off a little bit, and the pit stops just fell just right.
Hey, they felt just right. Talk about that too. Steve and Herman, they're two of the best here. Winning the race has to feel good, but what do you learn behind those guys? Like, what are you looking for anything specifically when you notice that they're just a little bit quicker than you? Are you trying to how are you trying to learn from?
I just try to be smooth. That's the biggest thing, is you can get caught up being behind somebody and pushing too hard just because you can get a run on them. You can get a nose in, or you feel like you can run them over, and then you back off, and then you get back up to them. So it's having the mentality of just, it's okay to let them go away a little bit and run your race.
That's a mentality a lot of guys can. That is the best advice I have heard after one of the races. It's okay to let them go. Don't push your stuff too hard. It's early in the race, but I learned something from you tonight, Jim. Speaking of learning, I learned that the 3-stop strategy can work here at Iowa. A firm believer that 2 stops was the best way to go. You made it work on the 3 stops. Congratulations on the win tonight. But before we let you go, the floor is yours. Sponsors, family, friends, whoever you got to shout out. Now's the time.
Absolutely. I want to thank the Rubinos. They run a great league over here. I came over probably like, I don't know, 5 races into the season. I run another league on Sunday nights, one that I own, STR Sim Racing, and just looking for another night to pick up. And I've run with those guys before. We've had some interleague races, and all great guys over here. Very respectful, fun to run with. It's a stress reliever from real life stuff going on, especially we need it after the last year and a half or so that we've had. But just want to thank them. Thank you guys for broadcasting this. It's kind of a dying art on the NR 2003, and just great to see it still happening. Obviously, got to thank the wife and kids for letting me do this and probably being loud at night. But other than that, the sponsor, Pomfret Wine and Spirits, my parents' store down in Connecticut, liquor store. And that's about it. Just thank you guys, and thanks for everybody tuning in to view it.
Jim, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us after this one. Congratulations on the victory here tonight, and hope to see you in victory lane a few more times before.
Thank you guys. That's our hope too.
Jim Windrow, driver the number 30. Thanks, buddy. Ricky, that'll conclude our coverage here from Iowa. A great night of racing, no doubt. Flag to flag, green flag racing. I mean, that's pretty much sums it up, right? Just green flag.
Yeah, and that's all you love to see. Everyone just having the entire race themselves, no breaks, just all the way through. True endurance event, and it was a lot of fun. I loved watching all that strategy, and man, I really didn't have that pegged as ending that way, but
Yeah.
It was great to see it. Fantastic night.
Hey, who said you need cautions to have a great race? I sure didn't. But folks, can't thank you enough for tuning in here tonight on JTN. Make sure if you haven't already, leave a like on the video and subscribe. You don't want to miss a second of any of the action, any of the content here on JTN. Fake Racers podcast coming out next week, as well as we got live races Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you're not going to want to miss a single one of those. But for all of us here at JTN, thank you so much for watching. For Bristol, our producer, for Ricky Collette, I've been Joe Towinski. Have a wonderful rest of your night, a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you guys next time live here on JTN. So long for now, folks. Yeah, and they're going to be 3 wide coming to the checkered. Never mind, they're going to be... Oh, Maverick over wide!
Who is that?
Turn 4 into the tri-oval. Whitehill through the grass. It's going to be Noah Joyce winning his first career race in the Red Bull Cup Series.
All right, and they're wrecking behind them. We got cars flying everywhere. Cars upside down, but it doesn't matter. Noah Joyce has done it. He's won at Daytona in the 3 car.
Musa's gonna.
Oh, he's going to use that apron.
He's gonna use the apron.
They're going to be side by side. Coming off the corner. Boy, back to the inside. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Musa gets it.